I'm Adrian from Seven Spires.
Jack.
Pete.
Yeah, and I'm Stefan. And this is an interview with Seven Spires. They will be doing a concert tonight at the capital of Quebec City. And I'm glad to have them here to have a great conversation about, let's start off with the new album that is coming out on June 21st, I think.
Yes, right.
So there's already two singles, two very different singles, and I love that because there's one that is way more catchy. The voice is the clean voice is up front, and the other one is more black metal-ish.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite, obviously. But I love both style of those sounds, and it's called a fortress called Home, and that fortress doesn't seem. It's quite dark as a fortress. Your home is dark, so is the band. So tell me about it, the concept, the thought process for the songwriting, and the whole thing.
Have at it.
All right. Well, the fortress called home, I think, can quickly be explained by the four walls that everyone builds around themselves to keep what's inside safe, or maybe to keep what's outside safe from what's inside.
Yeah.
Can be either way, right? Yeah. Concept you want to take?
Oh, yeah,
It's
sure.
more like a metaphor.
Yeah, very much a metaphor.
That
and
was
it's,
my thought at first, but that's good.
yeah, and it's
Keep going.
the imagery based around the metaphor as well as like the album cover feels very lonely, and more images and artwork that we've had done is an extremely isolated feeling, but with these very large, very ornate buildings. So kind of leans into that metaphor a little bit more as well. And I think with this album, it's we do concept records basically, and the previous ones have been a pretty linear storyline. There are characters doing things at times and in places, and this one's a little more of a deeper dive into the emotional concepts behind what inspired those previous records. So it's less of a linear storyline and more a collection of thoughts and ideas and feelings, I think.
But I would say too that it is still kind of linked to the original trilogy, and we do have like lyrical and melodic references to.
It's still attached to the first three records.
I think you can't really say that it isn't.
It's like the glue that holds them together.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I think in another interview I
And is
said.
it the end of that old concept, or there's still room to do another album related to the first four?
Hard to say.
Yeah, I think if we decided we wanted to do more, we could do that, but right now we have no idea. All of these are so draining to make and so intense, so like
I'm sure.
we need a little bit of a reset period to think about what we want to do for the next one.
Yeah, so we're happy.
So I will scrap my question, what the future holds for Seven Spires.
It's not over.
It's not over, obviously. I can't wait to see you do headlining shows, and I'm sure there will be offered quite soon for you to grab a spot. But at the same time, you're always touring with big bands and different kind of bands, because like I said when we just met. The tour with Omnium Gatherum and New Whitey is very different than Ad Infinitum and Camelot. So different fan base also. Are you doing that on purpose to change the style, because Seven Spire can fit with so many genres of metal?
Well, so we hear a lot that people want to see us on a headlining tour, and that's a really exciting idea that could be, a project to work on and everything. But at the same time, we get these offers, and it's not a choice necessarily of ours to say, oh, we want to do this tour, and then it happens. These people, it's something we receive, and it ends up working out. So what's nice is that other bands or other people in the industry are inviting us on such diverse tours. So it actually comes to us. Yeah.
Okay, you're not seeking for that, it's just coming at you.
Yeah, and that tells us something.
But if we were to manifest an ideal, like a batch of like, we want to tour with these bands, it would be super diverse.
Yeah, because we like a lot of different kinds of metal and different kinds of music in general. So
I'm sure.
if nothing else, it keeps us like super interested to be able to change up the set lists and change up the kind of crowds that we're playing, and even just the other bands that we're listening to every night and hanging out with. It's you know, I think we'd maybe get a little bored if we were doing the same thing every tour. So it's nice to be able to cover a lot of ground and throw different curveballs at ourselves as players as well.
Totally, because playing like the same 10 songs every night for years, I can believe some bands are doing that, and that's the third year in a row I think you come to Quebec, and every time it's a different tour. And first time I will be with the release of Gods of Debauchery, and I think it's a wonderful record, very well balanced, very varied, and there's a lot of diversity in that. You have black metal, you have progressive elements, you have symphonic metal, you have a lot of catchiness, but a lot of darker tones to it, atmosphere. I think it can reach a lot of people, can turn off some people because they don't like growls, or they can turn I don't like cleans, I like elitist metals. But at the same time, you don't care, and I think it's for the future, do you want to pursue like the same way, try to evolve as a band for sure, but is that the kind of music you want to push the band? I didn't have a chance to listen to the last one, but I have a little hint with those two singles.
Yeah, it's very much our primary goal is always to write the music that we want to hear. So it's the art is for us, and then if people happen to also like it, that's really wonderful. And I think it's been the case with metal fans for a long time, and it's starting to be less of the case, which is a good thing, that people seem to be kind of rigid about what they like. You know, I like this kind of band, I like this kind of heavy, but not that much. But you know, so I think maybe it's helpful for us to have so many different things, because there's something that can hook people in and then maybe open their minds a little bit to other stuff. Because
I think so.
and I think there are a lot of bands also doing that nowadays and bringing heavier elements into more pop writing and vice versa. I think the more you can learn to appreciate with music, the better.
And the more you can learn to remove what you like and what that says about you as a person, I think this can be a good thing too. Because I don't like clean vocals, because if I say I like clean vocals, then I'm dumb. Come on.
It's not really about that.
I'm a softie because I listen to clean vocals.
Yeah.
I'm not that art anymore.
Exactly.
It's like going into an art museum and be like, well, I don't like blue, so I don't like that. You know?
Yeah.
I'm more of a red guy myself.
Like, blue and red together can also make something cool. Something different.
Purple.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
That's cool. And
Arty.
I introduce a lot of my friends to like more extreme music because of the bands like I will say like Symmetry. There's a lot of clean vocals and a lot of great guitar playing, obviously, with Cal Nelson. I interviewed him on the 70K of metal, and I was like in heaven. Such a cool dude. And but the thing I wanted to say is I introduced my friends that doesn't like at all growl vocals, but because of like especially the period of Kirsten Elvis them with this clean vocal, that's cool, and then the rough vocals were getting in. I don't think I can listen to that. Hey man, come on, it will grow on you.
And it does.
Months, years after, they are listening to like completely growling bands. So,
Nice.
So
Great.
it can happen. I will go with some question more individually. On the songwriting process, I know you write a lot, but there's also a big collaboration between all of you three members, the three musketeers. And so how do you exchange ideas? Do you build skeletons or on your own, and then you present the songs to the band? And how does it work?
I would say that we've written songs every way possible. Adrian's basically the mastermind behind just about everything. So if there were a song that gets sent in its completed form and then we just play on it, it would come from her.
Okay.
She does all the orchestrations, the lyrics, everything, and then I mean.
Yeah, because you're a keyboard player, you're also in Winds of Flat.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
been a while, but yes.
Been a while since you did something with them, like a live show or anything
Yeah, a
related
couple of
to
years.
the band.
Yeah,
They
But
are
I-
quiet.
I think they are having their lives.
Yeah.
Like, I think John has a kid. I think actually,
Okay.
I think
a lot of them have kids now, right?
yeah, I think maybe half now have like real lives.
yeah.
I don't know what the rest of us are doing, but here we are.
So it's
I
been a
know
long
I'm
time
here.
since you have been in contact with them to do anything songwriting or just live performances.
Yeah, like a couple times a year, Morgoth and I will be like, yeah, the new album, and then nothing happens. But that's okay, it'll happen.
Still on the
I
ice.
guess. Yeah, there's nothing bad. It's just we're all busy.
Yeah, you're really busy, as you said, but I didn't know you were working all the orchestral elements by yourself. I didn't know that. I didn't know you were a keyboard player and
Oh yeah,
you did some arrangement, but
I
well,
have a degree in it actually.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm learning some things today.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. But sometimes it's that I'll have like a lot of like I do emotional brain dumps while on tour into my notes app on my phone, and then we'll get together for a couple of weeks and just like find melodies or like make a song almost from nothing, and decide like, oh, this needs like a stanky riff, or this should definitely be like a blast beat section, or maybe I don't know. And then sometimes you bring like a super cool riff, and I'll be like, today's hyper focus is this. So yeah, we pretty much made songs every way.
So most of the songwriting is based on the orchestral elements at first.
I would say on like melody, like piano and vocal demos. That's how I start if I'm alone.
Really raw, like
Yeah,
yourself
super
at the
raw.
piano
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just
Crying and
It's either a piano vocal thing or like a riff or a groove that is a cool idea. Yeah. So probably from one of those two things would be the starting point.
I know that Dimmu Borgir were used to wrote their songs like that. They will write like the orchestral elements and then they will add on top guitars, drum, but everything was coming out that piano session or the orchestral thing they were in it.
I guess because Eustace was like probably
Fucking
doing a
best.
ton of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But sometimes we get stuck. We're like, this needs some stank on it, some spice. Then we send it to Pete.
Yeah. And there are a lot of revisions that we go through as well of like the first thing, once we have something that we're relatively solid on, then we'll send it to Pete and like get some feedback and we'll revise and think about it for a while, and so we do change things as we sit with it.
And that always like directly influences like the direction of like the orchestra, for example. Or like I don't know, sometimes it changes the harmony in a really cool way. So
It's like cooking, like you know what you're gonna make and then you're tasting as you go to adjust the spices.
Yeah, I like that image.
yeah, that's exactly how it
I
is.
love gastronomy. So
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
I love my music like that too.
Nice.
That's why you're here.
Yeah, yeah, obviously.
Be like girl.
Is there? I have a question for you, Adrian, regarding Heart Healer. That project with Magnus Carlson. Do you think there will be like a part 2 or just anything else you will be involved with Magnus?
I think when the project was proposed to me, there was some talk about like the first one and then maybe more, but that was also 4 years ago. I don't really remember and I haven't heard too much about it. But that doesn't mean that it will not happen, doesn't mean that it will happen, it just means that I don't know what's happening.
He's a fast songwriter, so you never know. 3 months later, he has like 2 albums full of material, and you're like, what the hell?
It's pretty amazing, yeah.
Where were you editing that? No, just
Who's in
compose.
his chair? Sorry, no, too sorry.
He's crazy, I'm following him since the Last Tribe project, like his first band. and it was already amazing. We put out so many good stuff in melodic hard rock and heavy rock, heavy metal. So that's cool. And regarding touring, are you doing festival this summer? Do you have like talks with maybe some bigger, well, not bigger festival, but different kind of festival? Like I was telling you about 7,000 Tons of Metal, but there's other ones, obviously. Is that something that you are interested in?
Of course, we're interested for sure, and so we're headlining Mile High Power Fest in Denver this year in August.
Yeah.
So that's the only festival that we have planned besides our Japan tour.
There's a Japan tour.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. First time?
First
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
first time, and that's a headlining thing as well.
Oh yeah.
So that should be really interesting, but that's not a festival or anything.
We're just excited about it. We're talking about it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, so those are.
So many bands, it was like a great push for them to play in Japan.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them that became a lot bigger. That's Japanese are lovers of metal music, so
Absolutely.
if they like your stuff and there's some tricky guitar playing,
Which there is.
sweep picking, they love that. So
Great.
neoclassical, so they're all about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Back to you.
Yeah, so I mean, we would love to do like more festivals in Europe. We've had such great experiences on 70,000 Tons, Prague Power, which is not in Europe.
You went to
Yeah.
which year? The 7,000.
2018.
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right after the
right
first
after the
record,
first.
yeah.
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 Marcus Van Hella was my neighbor.
Which one?
Marcus Van Hella was my
No.
neighbor. It was in the exactly. I just remember we had the cabin, and then you were on the other side of us. And I remember walking out the door and seeing like his guitar boat or whatever it said Van Hella, and I was like,
Oh my god.
and then I closed the door.
Yeah.
What a fangirl moment.
Oh,
I remember the other
such
thing
a fan
about
of that guy.
the other fun thing about 70,000 Tons that year was that our second show, like every band does 2 shows, I think.
Yeah.
Our second one was right during Meshuggah's headlining set in the theater.
It hurts.
So everyone that didn't like Meshuggah came to our show and it was packed.
That's
like,
true.
Yes.
Front to back, like it was absolutely slammed.
Oh
It
wow.
really,
So
really
it
awesome.
was a good thing for you because the style was so different than
Yeah.
yours.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
It worked out great. Like I would have expected it to just be dead because everybody's seeing it, but it worked out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a great experience.
Mhm.
You know, that's
Oh.
a wonderful festival.
It's incredible.
You know.
Incredible.
Yeah.
You haven't really played a metal show until you've played one where the audience is like going like this.
And
The
you're-
boat's
You're
rocking,
trying to
and you're doing it
fall
too.
off the
You
stage.
got like 1 foot on the monitor, like, oh,
Yeah.
oh.
It was scary, and it was at 5 a.m. too, so you didn't even
We're playing at 5. Oh,
something
yeah.
like that.
Because it ran super late. I don't remember why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Crypta this year was playing at that time.
Yeah.
Wanted to catch them. It was a difficult one. But you gotta do what you have to do.
That's right.
So tonight is a longer set, you said. A little bit longer than. How much time do you have on your end?
It's about a 45-minute slot. Like usually,
45?
yeah, if it's a 3-band build, the headliner will play however long they want, and then direct support about 45, and then the opening band will play a half hour. So
If you
it's
saw,
usually how it goes.
yeah, if you saw the set list, you
I
wouldn't
saw it,
think
yeah.
that it's longer, but it's because one of the songs
This
is
guy.
10.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I love to be
I
like,
love that song. I was listening to it on my way.
oh, perfect.
Yeah, I
I
love
love
it.
to be like, we got time for
So Roy, where
a
is
couple
Roy?
minutes. Songs left,
He's
but
in the
it's
closet.
so one song. Yeah, it would have been cool to have Roy.
So is it the tape for the voice of Roy Kane or
No,
you're
it's-
arguing
yeah,
it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. It's
Can't
been
wait
really
to hear
fun.
that.
You know, I started singing like backing vocals a couple of years ago, and so now whenever there's an opportunity, I try to take what I can.
I love that you are taking it inside the band, and even if it's not exactly the same voice. I prefer that to backtracks.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of bands should do that.
Yeah. I think putting Roy on a backing track would be a travesty. You know?
Wait, can you imagine doing that on this tour? It'd be so weird.
Yeah, that would be bizarre.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel right.
I saw Obscura and they have a song on the last album that is called When Stars Collide with Bjorn Strud from Soilwork.
Oh, cool.
And same thing, they weren't playing any backtracks, it was just a more atmospheric thing that were in the same like keys than the line of voice of Bjorn, but
Okay,
he
cool.
wasn't singing. That's cool.
Yeah.
If he's there, he's there. If he's not,
Nice.
don't play it backtrack. Or rather, keep it raw.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So maybe a last question because it's been some time. I will stay here for 2 hours, but you have things to do. And I want to know, since the band is very different in terms of influences, and you like some different kind of music, maybe tell me each one of you 3 albums that are really important for you, maybe today or in the past, but as a musician, as a listener of music, 3 to 5 albums that comes in your head. Let's start with you.
That's a very hard one. I can give you.
Not necessarily your best album ever.
Okay, yeah. I can give you 4 influential ones off the top of my head. The first one would be an album called 2X Again by Michelangelo Badio.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite guitar player, and it's sort of like a collection of it's like a best of sort of thing.
That's
but
why all the shreds.
yeah, exactly. so good. That like
That's
I
cool.
know that album like the back of my hand, and that's
Oh,
just
yeah.
one of my favorite guitar albums of all time. The second one would have been The Story of Light by Steve Vai. It's one of his newer albums, like not one of the classic ones, but it's the first one that I had a 7-string when it came out. So I started learning to play some of those 7-string pieces while I can. I think it's just a beautiful piece of music as a whole too.
I need to listen to that. I haven't.
It's
Honestly,
really awesome.
I've listened to a lot of Steve Vai in my
Okay.
life, but not that one.
Yeah, check that one out.
Okay.
It's super cool.
Cool.
Then a couple of symphonic metal ones. Imaginarium by Nightwish was like a huge one for me. I also know that album like the back of my hand. We used to like sing it horribly coming back from local gigs.
Oh, yeah.
Just starting out.
All the
There's a little bit of Nightwish in your song also.
Oh, there's a ton. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually the other one would have been Silverthorn by Camelot. It was the first Camelot record that I heard ever. Also, like kind of right around when we met.
It was the first with Tom.
Yeah, first one with Tommy. First time I saw one of their music videos or anything, and the visuals and stuff. And it's a very different kind of symphonic metal and progressive metal from Nightwish. So like it kind of opened my mind to the possibilities of what that kind of music could be, and it doesn't have to just be the way Nightwish do it or the way Epica does it. Like, so yeah, that was also a very like shaping album for me as a musician. So there you go, 4.
Nice. I saw Camelot like in 2006 at this very venue
Oh, cool.
with Dragon Force. It
Nice.
was outstanding.
We saw that tour also actually.
Yeah,
That
in
was the
Connecticut.
first time we met Sean, I think.
Yeah, in Casey, I think.
Yeah.
It was the tour, I think, for the Black Halo.
Can't have been.
Yeah.
Surely.
Because they were playing Memento Mori, which is my favorite Camelot song.
Oh, okay, so it was still with Roy.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we saw
okay,
a
so we saw a
different-
different Dragon Force Camelot coded line.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
For Haven.
Yeah.
They did collaborate, I think, at least 2 times, if not 3, on
Uh-huh.
tours. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it was a later one that we saw.
Your turn, Adri.
I will also bring 4. Death Called Armageddon.
Oh,
Warrior.
yes.
The Black Halo.
The Black Halo.
Yeah.
It's a great record.
Also
My
with
favorite.
Shagrat.
Yeah, March of Mephisto.
I was gonna say Imaginary, but then
Ha.
well,
Pick another one. There's a
Yes.
better album from
yeah,
Nightwish.
all right, but that's not my favorite.
Sorry.
Those are 2 important ones from my past, and then in the last couple of years, I really enjoyed the 2 most recent Lepus albums. So I pick Aphelion and War of Being from Tesseract.
Tesseract, yeah.
Those are just heavy rotation for
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hear those crushing riff also in your sound, so that's a good mixture.
Yeah.
And you,
Well,
Peter.
so
It's like mine's all from the 1920s.
yeah, I'm trying to think about like what jazz albums I like, but they're all like, it's that's a whole other story.
All of
so.
my favorite music happened before recording was invented.
Right.
Old school guy.
Yeah, but so there's like Omnibium by Obscura is a really
Oh, yeah.
really big favorite of mine. That's changed my life. First Fragment, what's that really colorful album? Gula or something like that?
Yeah, the album is Dessin.
Yeah. Right.
That's
That's
in French.
yeah. It's a great album.
I know Phil Tuga. I wouldn't say he's one of my friends, but he's someone I know, and he gave me some guitar lessons, and it's an encyclopedia of metal. He knows his shit. It's incredible. And he plays.
Yeah. They really do. So those are two like tech deathy ones, and then as I was thinking about it, some interesting ones came up that I haven't listened to in a while. But it's the Muse album. I think it's called Hysteria, which
Oh, yeah.
has Hysteria on it.
2003 with Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a big one. And
That's a
then
really cool album.
it is good bass lines.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, great bass lines,
Grooves a
great
lot.
singing.
Matt Bellamy has such a unique tone, and they have like similarities to Radiohead, but at the same time they are hitting harder. I think that's why I prefer Muse to Radiohead personally. I
Yeah.
know some people will say, "Fuck yeah."
No, I agree.
Can't say that. Radiohead were the first.
Yeah. And then the last one is I think it's called like Hasidian Blues by Graveyard.
Living Graveyard.
Yeah, I think it's their second or third album. That one.
I'm not a pro in that band, but I
Yeah.
have I think 2 albums on my
They've gotten a lot bigger lately, but their early stuff is really cool. Yeah.
Where they are from, Sweden or?
They're from Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you wouldn't think so. Like it's one of those really cool Swedish bands that has a like an American sound. Like,
Yeah.
You know, really bluesy and stuff. Yeah.
Love blues.
Yeah.
Blues is the foundation
That's right.
Yeah.
of everything. So. Hey, it was a pleasure to meet you. Glad to have the chance.
Same here. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Here,
Likewise, thank you very much.
Jack.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see each other tonight.
Yeah.
I will be there. I'm not sure if I will go on the